Okay, I'm going to go through a recent flip that I did late last year to the beginning part of this year and do a deal analysis on this deal. And this is one that I was actually the borrower with Legacy and also participated in the flip. So the way that this deal came about is the person that I partnered with, he got a lead from a wholesaler. The wholesaler gave him this opportunity. They did some negotiation and they approached me. My partner on the deal was Josh, and he asked me to bring the financing, which included the hard money financing as well as all of the out-of-pocket portion, and he would manage the rehab. That's what we did, and I want to show you the before photos of the house here. So this was 4096 Southeast Roweth in Milwaukie. As you can see, it's sort of a flat roof-ish ranch style property in Milwaukie. It looks to be about 1950s-ish. Unfortunately, this is loading a little bit slowly. There you go. Kind of standard, looks like bamboo floors. I never actually went inside the property, but Josh did and our realtor did. So overgrown backyard, pretty standard stuff. The wholesaler was asking for $325 all in, and that's what we agreed to. So my partner looked at this and he figured that he could get the rehab done like a fluff and buff for 20K. And this is not one where we wanted to do the full flip and try to list it for top dollar. We wanted to essentially clean it out, paint the walls, make sure everything worked and smelled nice, and sell it for a lower price, kind of like a wholesale. So that's the strategy that we elected to go with. And I want to show you here on my deal analysis spreadsheet how I analyzed the deal before we pulled the trigger and decided to buy it. So the purchase price, I think I said 325, it was actually 320 is what the wholesaler wanted. And I underwrote it at a 20K repair cost. So at a purchase price of $320,000, 10% down payment, which is what we put down, that right here is $34,000. And why is it $34,000? Because we take the purchase price, we add the repair cost for the total loan amount, which is $340, multiply by 10%, so our down payment's $34,000. We estimated a 60-day hold time on this deal, which is very aggressive and really only works if you can truly get in and out and also list a property at below market value, which results in a quick sale. And I paid 1 point on the deal, $22.80, basically all the lender fees lumped in together. So this included $12.50, which is the legacy sort of processing fee, $30 wire charge, and then $1,000 for the appraisal. And I think it ended up being less than that on the appraisal, so it was a little bit less, but it's always nice to go conservative on the analysis. Bird dog fee, that is zero. So this field right here is if you're going to pay someone, a bird dog fee, or if you're going to pay an assignment fee. In this case, we did pay an assignment fee, but it's built into the purchase price, so I just left it there. Closing costs, both sides. So this is a little chart that I came up with. One day I sat down and I looked at like the last 20 deals that I did and analyzed what percentage of the purchase price the closing costs all came out to, all lumped together, buyers and sellers. So based on this chart, at a deal that you're buying between 100 to 200,000, it's about a 3% closing cost charge. For 200 to 300,000, about 1.65%, 300 to 400,000, 1.5%. And then so as the purchase price gets higher, that closing cost percentage gets a little bit lower. So I have this here at 1.65%, which actually, since I paid $320, well, the purchase price of the house was, I think, ended up being $295, and then the $25 went to the wholesaler. But regardless, I used the 1.65, so maybe we were a little bit conservative, but as I mentioned, it's always good to go conservative. I could have gone 1.5 here for the closing costs. So total purchase closing costs, total purchase costs. So this total purchase cost includes the purchase price plus all fees and closing costs. We have our repair cost here, and then this section right here is holding costs. So we have the hard money interest costs, which in this case we paid, I think it's 9.99%. I just have a round 10% in here. What this field is right here is the line of credit down payment interest. So for example, this down payment right here, if I'm going to use a line of credit for that and have to pay interest on it, I would just put in the 34,000 multiplied by this interest, and it would populate what I'm paying in interest for the down payment, or if I'm borrowing that from a private lender. In this case, I didn't. I self-funded that, so we didn't pay any interest on the down payment. The yearly taxes on this property are $4,500. So this right here, all these holding costs, by the way, are based on a 60-day turn. So you could see if I were to have underwritten this at 90 days, they all go up. They go up from $5,900 to $8,900. The insurance, maybe this is a little bit low. I should probably take another look at that, because I think on my most recent house flip it was $2,000, but I have right here $1,368. So just, you could estimate based on prior deals or ask an insurance agent. Okay, sales price. So we saw that if this house was fully dialed, it was definitely in the 500s, but we wanted to get in and out quickly and list underneath market value. So we underwrote the deal at a $450 exit price. That's based on our own comps, but also we used a realtor, and the realtor gave us a CMA, and we went back and forth. So we felt really comfortable with this number. With the sale costs, title and escrow fees, that's what we're paying basically to the title company, to the government, all the recording fees, and credits right here. So I typically underwrite a deal with $10,000 in credits. I think I went back and changed this after we did some negotiations with the buyers, but normally, or actually always, I am anticipating having to come up with $10,000 off the price, or actually in a credit during the negotiation phase with our buyer in order to close the deal. And that's pretty much been the rule for us ever since the interest rates went up in 2023. Buyers are always asking for something, so it's best that we build that into the deal from the front end. So buyer's agent commission, seller's agent commission, we're always paying a 2.5% buyer's agent commission. That's not something that we negotiate, because buyer's agents work hard and they are what stands between us and our buyers, which is what we want. So we pay them the full price. Seller's agent commission, typically if you're like a repeat flipper, you should be getting 1.5% to 2%. And again, why is it not a full percent? Well, it's because we're not traditional homeowners that need our hand held through the entire process, and we sell a home once every 10 years. We are professionals. We do this on a regular basis, and we bring repeat business to our agents, and we make non-emotional, numbers-based decisions. So therefore, they are willing to do deals with a little bit thinner margins because we bring them a lot of business. So in this case, our seller's agent made 1.5%. So our total sales cost, including all commissions, credits, title and escrow fees, for our deal underwriting was $40,250. That brings us to an all-in cost. This is where I add up all the sections: repair cost, total purchase cost, total holding cost, and total sales costs. Our all-in cost was anticipated to be $396,864 at a sale price of $450,000. That's an estimated profit of $53,000. So now I'm going to show you what we did. So we turned this house. Actually, here we go. Yeah, I didn't finish going through the photos, but you guys get the idea. It's a house that's got good bones. It's not that bad. It's dated but livable. It's just got a lot of stuff in it. So this is what we turned it into. A clean wholesale with landscaping. Smells nice. We put in some staging. We always do staging. Even if we don't have room for it in our budget, we do it anyways. We just go over the budget, which is what happened on this house, because staging makes houses look way better. Makes them look better in photos when buyers walk through, and covers up a lot of blemishes. Not like literally we're trying to cover up blemishes, but people don't focus on the blemishes when they can imagine themselves living in the house. So yeah, it looks good. So we did this. Our all-in came to, I believe it was 26,000, and I have that right here. So this is kind of like our rough, not rough, but exact log. Outside, we use QuickBooks, but we extrapolated this, and this is what we paid. So I'm gonna discount like some reimbursements there. So we spent about $26,000. That was including all repairs, staging, and some utilities. 26,181. And how did we end up on the deal? Well, during the negotiation phase, the buyers, they found some things. I think they mentioned the roof, the flat roof, and some other things. I don't remember exactly what they were. As I told you, I always build in $10,000 in credits, and we ended up giving them $20,000 off the purchase price. So the purchase price here, we actually got a full price offer at $450,000 the first weekend, right out of the gate, which was awesome, because if you're trying to sell houses in this market, you know that it's tough. But that's the benefit of coming in underneath market value, is you should get offers right away if you have a decent product. So we got a full price offer at $450,000. After the buyers did their inspections, they wanted some money off the price, so they asked for $30K. We landed on $20K, right in the middle between our anticipated credit and what they wanted. So they agreed to that, and they instead of doing a credit, they just wanted the purchase price reduced. So you can see here on our seller's settlement statement, the price was dropped to $430,000, and we walked with $120,983. Now, that is not our profit. We have to do basically a profit reconciliation between my partner and I, and make sure everyone was paid back for what they were out of pocket. And I will show how that worked right here. That's on, so this page right here is what we were sort of out of pocket on repairs, but you can see right here, I paid the wholesaler a $10,000 deposit. I brought $36,000 to the closing table. And then my expenses that I paid during the course of the project were $24,000. My partner was out of pocket $15,000. I had reimbursed him for $13,000 of that, and the cash that we received at closing was $120,000. Now, when you do 50-50 profit deals, there's different ways to calculate it. Like I've done it in the past, where we wait to do a full bookkeeping and receive, if you get any reimbursements back from the insurance company or from the title company, we do a full bookkeeping. We calculate down to the penny exactly what the profit was, and then we split that. The fastest, easiest, and I think the best way to do it is just to take the cash that you receive at closing, pay everyone back their reimbursements. So in this case, I was owed $70,854. My partner was owed $1,417. What's left over after paying people back, it theoretically is profit. So our profit on this deal was it, $48,711, and you could see that was pretty darn close to our anticipated profit, which was 53. Actually, I think our anticipated was going to be 60, right? Because I told you that the original credits, I had 10,000 in there. So I later changed that number. But you can see here, let's just look at what it would have been if I had zeroed this out and then changed the purchase price to 430. Would we be close? Yeah, pretty close. So the anticipated profit would have been 54,000. Based on this deal underwriting. In reality, we were even, and again, we went 6,000 over budget, so I think we might be right on the money, right? I told you we were 26,000. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, we were right on the money with what this says we should have made versus what we actually made here. So we each walked with 24,000, and then we just added reimbursements to those wires. So my 70,000 plus my 24,000. My partner reimbursed me my 70,000 plus my profit, and I got a wire for 95,000. He brought no money to the table, found the deal, managed the rehab, and he also made 24,000 with his reimbursement. He kept 25,772. So that's just a a fun little easy deal, easy flip, and those deals are out there. So if you have any questions, actually, if you would like this spreadsheet, I'm happy to give it away. Just drop in the comments that you want the spreadsheet, and I will send that to you. Or just reach out to me directly. I'll put my email and contact information in this post.